Good afternoon, everybody. Can you hear me? Okay. My name is Laura Wexler, and I'm one of the founders and producers of the Stoop storytelling series. How many of you are familiar with that? Cool. Okay. Well, I'm so happy to be here to introduce a young man who's going to tell a story. It was great to listen in on that panel and hear all the wonderful things the panelists had to say, but also hear that hearing directly from youth and hearing their stories is such an acknowledged and important part of the work. So the Stoop Storytelling Series is a live event in a podcast in which ordinary people tell the extraordinary true tales of their lives. And in this case, I had the good fortune to work with our storyteller for today, David Blair, to support him as he developed a story to share with you all. So I want to thank the Urban Health Institute for inviting the Stoop to be part of this event, and also I want to thank David for coming to share his story with the group. So David Blair is the advocacy co-leader at New Lens Productions, which is a nonprofit youth organization that uses art and media for social change here in Baltimore. We're actually going to be showing a video that New Lens folks made. He's in his 4th year at University of Baltimore. He's majoring in community studies and civic engagement. He's 22 now, but when he was a youngin', he grew up in Ralbrook Junction, and he attended Hazelwood Elementary and then Garrett Heights Elementary. So David's going to tell a story about some of his experiences as a student in the Baltimore City public school system. Please welcome David.
How's everybody doing this afternoon? All right, don't let the beard and bald head fool you. I'm actually 22. I got the ID to prove it. Thank you. Yeah, so I'm originally from Brooklyn, New York, but we moved here the summer of 1998 because my father went to Maryland for law school. I went to 4 different schools growing up in Baltimore. First one was Garrett Heights Elementary. The second one was Hazelwood Elementary Middle, and the 4th one was the Baltimore City College High School, City Forever. All right. Being a product of BCPSS is an interesting experience, not only for me, but also for my mom, who worked in the school system for about 17 years before her and my father moved back to New York. I would kind of say the bulk of my realization of taking a look at the world for what it is and really coming to terms with who I am and who I'm going to be kind of came about when I was in the 6th grade. You just kind of get a new sense of feel of what's going on around you. Some of the people that you went to elementary school with aren't with you anymore. You're in a brand new environment, especially going to a school like Roland Park in an area that I was completely unfamiliar with. So throughout this school years, when we're walking through the bus stop, we get those kind of looks. For those of you who don't know, Roland Park is a predominantly wealthy white neighborhood, and when you have inner city black kids walking through your neighborhood, the people kind of look at you like you kind of don't belong there. There's a store called Eddie's in the Roland Park area as well. For those of you who know, the youngins, when we have to go into the store, we got to take our book bags and our coats off, leave them in the front of the store. Oftentimes we get followed. There was one instance where one of the workers accused me of stealing a box of dots. So he followed me from the store across the street to the library and tried to call me out in front of my friends, like, "Where's the candy you stole?" And I'm like, "Dude, I got the receipt right here to prove that I didn't steal anything." And then he just flat out banned me from the store. Whatever. Yeah, and it just different experiences like that just happened throughout my entire tenure at Roland Park. Also, some instances of bullying. Like, I was a big kid, but I was also kind of soft and spoken. Like, I know what I can do, and I know if I wanted to, I can hurt somebody, but I didn't really want to. But people wanted to test that. Yeah, they come in groups and groves, and they really want to test and push your limits. Unfortunately, they took it there, and we had to squash it, settle it. And I was just happy that after 8th grade, didn't have to see most of them again, and surprisingly, some of them are now my really good friends. Going to high school at City, of course, played football. I didn't really like football all that much, so I decided to switch sports. I ended up being on the swim team for about 3 years, and then I also played tennis. Yes, I played tennis, and I'm really good at it. Also at Roland Park is when City, excuse me, is when I really got that first instance of community organizing and advocacy. A friend of mine, I was just lazing around the halls one day after school. A friend of mine, she pulls me in the room and says, "Hey, we're in here talking about healthy food." I'm like, "Cool, I like food, what's up?" We go into the room. In the room is an organizer named Jamal Jones, who is a part of the Baltimore Algebra Project, and we were discussing a program on how to get scratch cooking kitchens inside of Baltimore City Public Schools. It was a really good program. We had a plan for it and everything. Unfortunately, it didn't work out. But the experiences that I gained from working with the Algebra Project really hold value to me. I got the opportunity to travel all around the United States, an opportunity a lot of kids in Baltimore do not get to get. One of my most memorable experiences was partaking in a freedom ride going down to Florida. There was a youth-run, youth-led organization called the Dream Defenders who were trying to get the Stand Your Ground law repealed after the murder of Trayvon Martin. And because we were all in the same umbrella organization, they sent out a call and said, "Hey, we're doing a sit-in. We need some support. Please come on down." We got on a bus, went to Philly, picked up more people, and then drove from Philly to Florida and spent a week sleeping in the Florida Capitol building. For those of you who don't know, Florida's Capitol building has hard marble floors, and that was some of the most uncomfortable sleep I've ever had. But the experience of being around people who came together for one goal, just to share all of the positivity that they came and brought, all of the different skills and organizing opportunities that they had with them to just form a collective to really fight for this one goal was really important to me. Being in Newlands, I always had a hanker for film and whatnot, so it also gave me an outlook to look at the world from two different scopes. One from the everyday media that you see from the news, but then also from the organizing standpoint and being unbiased to actually get that unfiltered, raw experiences. So I have firsthand experience from the Freddie Gray unrest that happened, watching bar patrons throw beer bottles and gates and trash cans at peaceful protesters, shouting racial epithets at them every single time somebody mentioned Freddie Gray's name, and then the rest you can put two and two together and figure out what happened. But yeah, that's just my experience, my story. I have business cards if you want to hear more, and I'm here. All right. Thank you for your time.